My name is Nelly Ebruka, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Team Lead for Spacehubs Africa. As we all know, it is unarguable that there is a need for us to work together as a team to ensure that space is used as a lever for the development for Africa. And as the African adage goes, if you want to go far in whatever you're doing, you have to work with others. So that is what Spacehubs is about. It's about building a community of passionate people to ensure that space is also used as for the development of Africa. And we have the vision of the African space policy and strategy that is building an African space industry by Africans and for Africans. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we're very excited to have you here.
So what exactly is the space industry? The space industry is composed of a lot of different verticals, a lot of different segments. Quite broadly, you can think of it as in two components. You have the upstream on one hand, and you have the downstream sector on the other hand. What does this mean? The upstream space essentially covers all the steps related to the development and the manufacturing of space hardware and technologies, while the downstream space can be thought about as the applications that are developed from space hardware and technologies, such as mobile apps, analytics platforms, and things like that. There's one metric that you can use to segment the industry based on either the tools that get you into space or the data that you use then down on Earth for applications. Bringing this to the African ecosystem, of course, things are quite different. Africa is just getting started, while the EU and US has been involved for close to 50 years, or over 50 years. Africa hasn't had the same history, of course, and so it'll take time to build the same level of networks. The comparison here isn't really to say that Africa needs to copy the approaches of the US or the EU, but rather to understand that by leveraging these factors, it can develop its own strategy that focuses on maximizing the potential of its own ecosystem by connecting these different verticals together and allowing them to work dynamically together to bring about something new and bring about something that lasts. Quite simply, Spacehubs Africa is trying to build the African space ecosystem online. We provide an online platform for the African space community to allow the sharing of knowledge, building of connections, and development of capabilities for anybody who wants to partake. The website and platform is free, of course, for registering for anybody who's interested. And the best part of it actually is that you don't even have to be an expert in space. Our community is open to everyone of all ages, of all backgrounds, all nationalities. Whether you have 20 years in the industry or whether today's the first time you're even hearing about space technologies and the space industry, we want to try and help build connections with space enthusiasts across Africa. Not only do we provide a platform for you to talk and connect with others, you can also organize your own local events and organize your own local meetups. And we're trying to generally give you more the power to be in the agency to create something for yourself, or a community for yourself in your own environments. To that end, we'll be developing various educational resources, webinars such as this, as well as trying to provide any support we can to young space startups as well that are growing.
Then in Africa, a number of companies are making use of downstream aspect of space science in agriculture, particularly South Africa. South Africa has the most advanced, is the most advanced country in this area in Africa, whereby a lot of farmers now have the cloud-based data storage. They also have real-time weather for monitoring agricultural feed and all that, crop monitoring, drought, among many other areas. So also like in countries like Kenya, Ethiopia particularly is also investing a lot of money in this area. They are working on their satellite and having the ground base so that they can use it to monitor their agricultural farmland, drought, and among others as well. For Africa to develop more in this space sector, it is very important African nations, the government, the institutions, the education institute, and organizations like companies collaborate with companies outside Africa or within Africa, as well as big governments around the world to realize their dream. Of course, Africa has been doing this. Nigeria has collaboration with China in launching satellites. We have collaboration with Japan. We have recently, Nigeria is launching military, and we have a collaboration with other governments across the world. Then we also have NASDA. NASDA is Nigerian Space Agency. It's headquartered at Obasanjo Space Center in Abuja, the capital city, with several substations across Nigeria, west, north, and south.
And the model is such that rather than executing a one-time sale, so manufacturers find a way to servitize their products. By servitize, what I mean is that like you sell solutions and outcomes to customers rather than the tangible product itself. So instead of just providing an hardware or a particular physical device, you kind of provide the value, the experience. You deliver the value to the customers. So in general, as a service, we have three major ones, like I mentioned: infrastructure, where the provider provides the infrastructure for you to store your data, and those components generally include servers, storage, virtualization. So if you're in the space industry and you have an application or you have a value that you want to deliver, so the infrastructure is already created in this scenario. Why platform as a service, that's PS, it's more trickled down. It's such that you probably access it over a web browser, and the tools that you can use to tweak your solutions are already provided. And the most common one in the software realm is usually SaaS. Yeah, it's commonly called SaaS. That's software as a service. So almost everything is delivered in that extent. It's just for you to kind of consume the value. But when it comes to space industry, one is getting more common, and that's ground station as a service. So ground stations are usually like a setup of infrastructure that allows you to communicate to your satellites, allows you to like process data. So if I'm a launch provider or I'm in the geospatial analysis business or Earth observation business, I would have to like set up a lot of infrastructure to like scale up my operations. I would have to manage a lot of equipment. But companies that are now involved in ground station as a service, they kind of provide that service. So I don't have to like spend a lot of capital in setting up my equipment. I don't have to acquire a lot of infrastructure or IT technical expertise before I can like consume value and also deliver value to the companies already servitizing products. One of the most popular among them is AWS, that's owned by Amazon. So AWS ground stations, this kind of like I mentioned before, a fully managed service lets you control your satellite communication, your process, allows you to scale your operation without worrying about building or managing your infrastructure. So you use satellites for various variety of use cases, including weather forecasting, surface imaging, communications, and video broadcast. For example, if I'm in the video broadcasting business, I may not necessarily have to like set up and launch my own satellites up there. If I'm in the launch business, I do not necessarily have to like launch my satellites to communicate with my rockets and with mission control. Ground station as a service already like takes care of everything in between.
So this is the Spacehubs Africa platform. It has different platforms in it, subsections: the Learn, the Connect, Gold, and the Forum. So with the Learn content, mostly we're planning to include, some courses, tutorials that you can get in the near future. And then you have the webinar section, which is definitely going to include such webinars like this one. And then you can find these webinars here. In the Connect section, you have the events, projects, job boards, which you can go there and then see different events, conferences around you. You can find different conferences around Africa and also around the globe that you can register in a fast-paced environment. The other is you have opportunities section, and then in this section you can go ahead and then you can apply for any engineering projects, research opportunities, anything related to space. You can go here and then register from our platform. The other section is the Build platform. So in the Build platform, what we do is we want to connect our users with some of the space companies here in Africa and also around the world. And these are some of the companies we have listed here. You can go ahead and then see the organization's profile. If you're interested, if they offer any internship opportunities or research opportunities, you can go ahead and apply for those opportunities. Platform. So here in the forum platform, we basically have different message boards. So on the top here, we have the frequently asked questions. So if you have any questions related to the platform that have been already answered by one of our admins, you can find them here. And then you have the site news updates section, and then at this place you can find any updates regarding the platform, any new features that we've included in any updates that we have. And the other is support and feature requests. So if you're having troubles of logging in or creating a post or navigating through the website, you can post your questions here, and then one of our admins will definitely answer your question.
Question from Peter, who says, what's your calendar for this year like, and how can we actively participate, and any meetups? So what we're going to try and do coming forward is we're going to try and have more regular webinars for the community on different topics. So if you have ideas of topics that you want to hear about, experts you want to hear from, feel free to message us. The best way to take part is to join the community.spacehubs.africa. Someone will post it in the chat again, so you can just click the link and sign up. And then once you're in the community, you can just take part on the forum. You can write things and connect, you can write things and build. It's open to everyone. You can follow us on Twitter, Spacehubs Africa. Follow us on Facebook, Spacehubs Africa. Follow us on LinkedIn, Spacehubs Africa. And that way you can stay in touch of all the things we have planned, and we'll let you know, of course, anything that comes up. In terms of meetups, we want to organize those as well. So that depends also on the community. Just like I said, if you guys have ideas of things you want to do, we don't want this to be just us telling you how to build the community. We want this to actually be a community with ideas coming from everyone. So if you have ideas of things you want to do, feel free to suggest them. We'll support you as we can as well. We want this to be an active community that's open for everyone. So take part wherever you can. Just join the forum, follow us on our social media, and you'll hear from us in terms of future webinars and future ideas that we bring out.